Hello and welcome to Backlinking, the PKM podcast. In today's podcast episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about the experience I've had moving more towards an analog system. So I've made videos about my analog system, so I won't go too deep to exactly like how I'm doing things. But I wanted to talk about some of the benefits, some of the issues I found with an analog system. And this is things that I think most people already know about. Like if you search pros and cons of analog productivity system, I think these are the exact things that will show up. But I still wanted to make a video talking a little bit about my personal experience with all of this. So I use several notebooks. I have a Pocket One and I have several others. It is important to mention that I have a Pocket One because that is like my catch-all system. And we can just start off with some of the things I've really enjoyed. I have really enjoyed the tactile feeling of just holding a notebook and a pen. And I've also, as someone who enjoys a lot of stationery and have a lot of things like fountain pens, I have a lot of notebooks. I have just many like analog tools, and just being able to use them and enjoy them and live slower, which is the second point, has been a huge benefit. Like slowing things down, not always trying to like get to the next thing as soon as possible, like trying to check off as many things as possible or have as many things as possible in my to-do list application. That being said, I still use a digital to-do list as well, but not as much as the analog tools. I mainly use the analog tools, but I have like the digital ones as like something to add on top. And just something extra, because there are times and places where I need digital tools. So I use both, but like my main productivity system, I would say that the rule is that most things except for emails goes into this first, and then gets moved into either a notebook. I even do my daily planning in a notebook first before I like put it on top of a calendar to block out time. That is mainly for meetings. So I use my calendar mainly for meetings, and if I have like very specific things I need to get done that I have to block out so people can't like get in touch with me or have a book a meeting with me, I will put that on top of my calendar. But apart from those two things, which isn't a lot, like I have 3 meetings each month, give or take. I have like 2 or 3 of these blocks where I have to do something, again, give or take. So around 6 things each month goes mainly into my calendar. I try to have all of my events in my calendar, for example, if I'm traveling, things like that. But on a day-to-day basis, I try to use my notebooks. And I think like the reason why I like the notebooks is that they slow me down and that I have a limited amount of space. Like I always want to do more. I always want to like add more stuff. I always want to like I could probably always be doing more. That's how my mind works. And I always underestimate how long a task takes, and I always overestimate like how much time I have in a day. And using like pen and paper and the daily planners, like analog daily planners, have actually helped me a lot with that, because the space is limited, just like my time is limited. Like there isn't enough time to do all of the things I want to do in a given day. There just isn't. So I have to learn to prioritize, and in an analog tool, I actually have to prioritize in this small like pocket notebook, which fits in my pocket. Just to describe how small it is, there is limited amount of space. I have to like decide this is important, this isn't important. So it has also helped me prioritize a lot. But I think like the thing I've enjoyed the most is just using notebooks. I am planning to do more of a decorative journal next year, because I want a creative outlet as well. But just using them has been really enjoyable. And it brings me to like this idea of slow living, which I want to embrace even more going into the next year. I feel like I've embraced it at least a little after the summer, not as much before the summer, but after the summer I've tried to embrace it a lot more, and the notebooks have been key parts in that. So I am really happy with just the feel of these. I really like my notebooks. I just bought this one a couple of months ago because actually a couple of weeks ago, I think. Today is November 23rd, so it might be longer by the time you're seeing this video, but for me filming it, it has been 2.5 weeks or so. And I got so happy when I got it, and I had to buy this pocket notebook, which I'm talking about. I had to buy this because I my other one needed like to get taken care of, and some leather cream and just a little bit of rest, and I couldn't do it because I'm so dependent on especially the pocket one. I'm not as dependent on the other ones. I have multiple, as I said, but the pocket one is really, really important because it is my catch-all. It is my substitute for using a phone. I have reduced my screen time drastically because I use these notebooks instead, and I mainly just use screens when I'm working, and that is because my work like involves screens. I can't avoid them, but I've seen myself using screens a lot less, which I am super, super happy with and super excited about, because I don't think it is good for us to scroll through social media all day. You might not have that same issue. I have that issue a lot. So it all, as I said earlier, or as I said in many of my videos, whether you choose analog or digital depends on what you need, because some of the issues I experienced, the main one is it is so hard to plan in a notebook when you are a little tired. Like when I just want to go to sleep, or I just want to like spend 2-3 minutes, plan out my day and just go do something else because things have been really hectic. That isn't as easy to do in a notebook. You have to bring up your notebook, you have to write the date, you have to like migrate tasks from the last day, which takes a while. I'm not like saying that it takes half an hour or 10 minutes, but like when you are tired, or you're sick, or there is just a lot of things going on, those 2-3 minutes actually quickly can become a source of procrastination. And for me, it is a little bit easier because I've been journaling we're in 2025, so 6 years, around 5-6 years. I've been journaling almost every single day. I think it's like been every single day, even though some days are like just a line or two. I have always been journaling. So I use that as a way to stop the procrastination. Just the habit of having to write something down has helped me a lot, but still, on those days I really miss having my digital tools. There are also some things that just need to be digital, like I can't save a URL to my notebook, I can't save articles to my notebook, I can't save YouTube videos, images, things like that. So I have a bookmarking tool, or a note-taking app slash bookmarking tool. I use it as both. And I have no like clear rules of what goes where, but I haven't had any major issues using both. I always find the thing I'm looking for, but I tend to have a lot of my project notes. I tend to migrate them from my notebook to a note-taking app, because that's the next point. Bringing, in my case, I have 3. Next year I will have 4 notebooks with me everywhere when I have to work is really, really hard. So I traveled a week or two ago, and bringing all 3 of my notebooks was really, really hard, and really, really annoying. So that is also just something you will have to keep in mind, that bringing all of your notebooks with you is impractical a lot of the time, when you can just bring a small phone. I try to use the Pocket Notebook to like avoid that issue. So I try to bring with me the Pocket Notebook instead of bringing with me all of the notebooks. That is also something I've been like doing to try to avoid the issue, but still I miss a lot of information that I have in my daily planner notebook, which is also my project management notebook. So again, that can be fixed by just simply putting a lot of the most important stuff into your note-taking app or project management tool. And I think like that brings me to my point here. It isn't about analog or digital. It is about trying to like leverage the best parts of both. So I would say even for those of you who prefer digital, I would still recommend doing a lot of thinking in an analog notebook. So things like just at the start of a project, for example, when you do all of the mind mapping and you're just trying to get all of the ideas out, because this might not apply to you, but it really applies to me. I might have 100 ideas every single day or 100 ideas for each project. I think like probably 85 of them are terrible ideas and they just need to be scratched, thrown in the trash, doesn't work at all. Uh, 10 to 15 might be really good ideas, and just getting everything out so I can see it in front of me, and then I can move the most important stuff into a note-taking app so I don't like put everything into my project management tool, everything into my note-taking app. That really helps a lot. I'm actually doing that for my YouTube videos. I have 3 or 4 YouTube video ideas every single day. Many of them are terrible and I never get back to them. So I would put all of them in my note-taking app, and my note-taking app would be cluttered with a lot of notes that I would never come back to, or a lot of video ideas that I would never come back to. I then decided to like put them into my to my notebook first, and then move my social media ideas from my notebook to my note-taking app. That actually helped a lot. So it is, in my humble opinion, it is about like trying to find the balance. For some people, that might be more analog. For others, that might be more digital. For most, it might be like 90% digital, 10% analog, or the other way around, 90% analog, 10% digital. But I think like you can benefit from having both, and that is my experience so far. I am going to lean into the analog part because I've just really been enjoying it, and I think it comes down to that. If you enjoy it, it is much easier to keep it going. I will have digital tools like a digital planner because there will be periods where I'm sick, tired, having mental health issues where I will need to like, that's when it is so important to keep structure, especially around mental health issues. So I need to reduce the friction, while other times, most times with the notebooks, I need to add friction because that's what I need. So I think that covers it for today's podcast episode. I just wanted to share my like experiences with this experiment because that is what it was. It was an experiment where I tried digital tools for analog tools for 30 days, and the experiment turned into 60 days. Now we're into like close to 90 days, and I've decided I have actually purchased a daily planner, which I will use next year. So it has been a fun experiment, and I just think that covers it for today's episode. If you have any questions, as usual, leave them down below. I will try to get to them as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching or listening to today's podcast episode.